What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night if you are watching this live. We are here with a Village Idiots live. I've got Kelly and Landon and Ryan. It's been a while since we've all been together. It was February when we did the Lemax preview show. This is the wrap-up show. It's not just Lemax. It's anything Halloween Villages. It's going to be Lemax heavy, though, this year. I know that. But, guys, just real quick, you guys want to do some introductions? We'll go how you guys are to me. So, wrong side, Landon.
Hey guys, this is Landon from Halloween Channel, or formerly Halloween Channel, now Halloween Villages, coming at you live from Tarleton State University. I'm very excited to be on this podcast. It was a lot of fun, and it's great to see y'all. It's been a while. It's been a moment since we've all been in a live chat together.
Ryan, you want to go next?
Yeah, Ryan from Hunters Nation, as you can see down here. Good to be back with these guys. I haven't seen them for a while. I haven't talked to them for a while. Busy season, so it's be fun to wrap this up.
And then we've got Kelly.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kelly. It's good to see you.
I like the village. You're the one with the actual village behind you. We're all just sitting in front of things. You've got your massive display behind you.
Yeah, why not? Come to you live from my basement.
There you go. Well, so this year, really what we're wanting to do is just kind of do a general wrap-up of things. And, Ryan has a unique perspective because he's a dealer, and he can kind of provide some insight. And I know this year has been challenging for you, I suppose. Let's just get this part out of the way because I know people are wanting to hear it. It has been a tricky year, let's just say, as far as supply chain goes. I guess, do you want to speak to any of that, Ryan? Is this therapy for you?
Yes. Hi, my name's Ryan. Thank you for all listening. It was a very challenging season. As we know, this COVID thing is still kicking around, and it has destroyed the supply chain. So with the Lemax stuff, especially this year, they tried to get ahead of the problem they had last year without having the colored boxes by shipping to a different port in California. If you've seen the news, California has ships backed up for months trying to unload. So all of the product arrived on one coast and the boxes were stuck on the other coast. So I literally got shipments of just styrofoam boxes, which is the way Lemax gets them shipped. If you guys didn't know that, when they get them shipped to them, they come in just a styrofoam with the elastic band around it, the elastic Velcro band, and then they actually box them up in-house before they ship them out to the retailers. So I had quite a few cases that had just the styrofoam inside, and then they shipped me all the boxes later, so I'm folding them up in my living room and boxing everything up and shipping them back out again, and it was an interesting season, let's put it that way.
Man, that's tricky. And of course, Michael's had, well, it's ongoing, I guess, even as this is going, or as we're filming this. Yes, there's been a bunch of issues at the Michael stores. I know for me, it's been a pain. I haven't gotten some of the buildings. Some of them have been on order for over a month now, but it's just been tricky for everybody. I think Department 56 too, they have supply issues too now, don't they? Or didn't they sell out of stuff and it was problematic getting it back?
Yeah, they're actually, I have quite a few things on order. All the main Halloween items are in. The Addams Family stuff I finally got in. I finally got Elvira's in. The Ghostbusters got pushed to next year. They were supposed to be October, November timeframe. They're actually into, I believe, March of next year now. A couple other items are pushed back to the end of October, which I don't see them making it for Halloween, unfortunately, this year. So yeah, it's all companies right now. The shipping lanes are.
It's everything. Yeah, I mean it's everything. I know at my actual job and everything, it's kind of it's a mess there with selling machines and parts and everything. You can't get certain weird one-off items, because something's backed up, so it just screws everything up. So I know everybody's been upset this year, and I understand it, but it's really not a company thing. It's an everybody thing. It's just that it all trickles down. So there's the disclaimer out of the way. Now let's talk about more fun stuff. We address the elephant in the room right off the bat. So what we're going to do here, and we invite you guys for the live chats. Hey, Nick, how are you doing? Nick says setting up his first village tonight. Zombie Records, Ghost Riders Antique Bookstore just came in the mail, and he bought Elvira's house. Nice.
Awesome.
Libby, I think is talking to you, Kelly. Libby Dixon loves your display.
Oh, thanks.
What's up, Mario? Hey, Bread Guy. Doug, didn't you used to be a Department 56 dealer? Yeah, years ago. I like filming the videos. It became a kind of a hassle to ship the stuff. So not anymore.
You guys walked away.
Yes.
For you.
Scott. Okay, so Scott asks, "Hey Doug and crew, what Spooky Town building for 2021 do you feel was a sleeper till you saw it in person, and how would you add it to your display?" You know what? Let's save the favorites for last. We'll save our favorite pieces for last. I was going to start with them, but Scott, let's go to biggest sleeper. Everybody has the biggest sleeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for simplicity here, just pull up pictures of them whenever we are talking about them here. So we will go in reverse here. Oh, hey, Vito, what's up, man? And Chase Taylor says, hi, Ryan. Hi, Doug. What's up, Chase? All right, so let's start with Kelly, and we are going to go with your biggest surprise of the year. And then, Scott asked, how would you add it to your display? So if you can talk about that, go for it.
Sure. Okay, so the biggest surprise for me, it may be a little different than what you guys were thinking of as the biggest surprise. So I liked this piece when I first saw it, like I knew it was going to be a hit. But I am team bulb lit house. Like that's my jam, and I have a ton of them, and so I don't really gravitate to pieces that are flashy. I like them, but I don't necessarily buy them. So my biggest surprise was the Horrid Haunted Hotel, because it is absolutely incredible, and it is the farthest thing from a bulb lit piece. But the thing I like about that piece the most, and I regret not getting it when I saw it, that's the one piece I'm regretting not getting. The thing I like about it most is that it tells a story. You know exactly what's going on in this piece. So I imagine that people from my town, my little trick-or-treat village, went to Spooky Town to like go on vacation, and they're staying in this hotel. So I think that's how maybe I would incorporate it in my display if I were trying to transition to a spookier area. I think it could fit because it does have normies.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything about this piece is incredible.
It's a piece. This is sadly the one I haven't gotten to see yet in person. I know a lot of people probably though share that opinion. We might talk about it later here. So let's move on here to Ryan. What would be your sleeper building, whatever you want to call it, biggest surprise of the year?
The surprise for me actually is one of the smaller accessory pieces was the witch gazebo. The gazebos they've done in the past were all on a kind of the smaller side and very kind of, let's say, cheesy looking, the way they were painted and whatnot. Not a lot of color to them. The witch gazebo was very well detailed. It was a larger piece, probably a third larger than most of the gazebo pieces they've had so far, and had a ton of detail on it. And with the actual witch hat for the roof, it's going to fit right into your witch village, and it's going to fit right into your Department 56 witches village. Either one, it'll go just as well because the detail is high enough to match the Department 56 quality, and it's heavy.
Sharing in here. Sorry, I was lagging on the share. This I do really like this one. It's not in my list, but I know that from reading around all the comments and everything I've seen online, this one would be strong if there was like a cumulative like surprise. This might be that one. It does. I think it goes with a lot of things. Again, it reminds me of the Department 56 one. It's a little more Halloween themed, of course, and it goes with the Department 56 witch stuff. And it's a lot cheaper than if you wanted to get something Department 56. But I think the quality is good on this piece. I do really like this one as well. Let's go real quick here, Landon. What would be yours? What was your sleeper?
So my sleeper, it was kind of like Kelly. I liked this piece when I saw it, but when I finally got my hands on it, I was really, really impressed with it. And I have it with me. I've got it all lit up here. The Meow Mansion. Now this piece, well, I say it's not a head turner, but it kind of is with the design of it. But it's not a head turner like the same way that the whiskey distillery or the Ferris wheel is. But you can see here, this building, there is no animation or sound on it, but the lighting on it is gorgeous. It's bathed in black lighting. It reminds me of old school Spooky Town, like when they used to do the Zombie Cafe and the Funhouse, the old one, not Chuckles. And you can see here the cat's eyes, they glow up green. It looks fantastic. And again, it's a very striking piece. I mean, it's a cat house essentially. And as far as like theming this, I think that you could go several ways with this. I think you could put this in a witch village because a lot of the times the witch pieces, they tend to be very fantastical or whimsical, especially some of the stuff from Department 56 Witch Hollow. But more so than the witches, I think that if you have a Hungry Treehouse and a Nightmare on Oak Street, all three of these pieces together would make for a fantastic, like psychedelic, Alice in Wonderland, trippy Halloween theme. So no, I love this one. I think that it's great. It's not gonna be the star attraction, but still, it looks fantastic with that lighting.
That's a great idea, actually. To put it with the Nightmare on Oak Street. One of the something we'll probably talk about later. I think would go well with it. I guess I'll go to mine here really quick. This one, I guess I call it a sleeper, even though I kind of thought it was going to be the sleeper, but it wound up, I guess, being it for me. And that would be the Ghost Riders Antique Bookstore. This is, along with the gazebo, a lot of people really like this one because it's bulb lit. Shout out to you there, Kelly.
Yeah.
But this one, so many people like the bookstore, and it reminds me of, well, it doesn't remind me of it, but it goes with the library from a couple years ago, I guess, right? Boy, it's crazy. I forget. And that wasn't last year, was it? The library, wasn't it 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this one is it has a lot of good theming around it. Every part of this, it seems like, has a detail that kind of goes to the cohesive story of the piece. So as for what you could theme it in, you could theme it in a regular, I guess, like a real quote unquote town, like a trick or treat village. You could put it in a spooky area, or a spooky city. You could go different ways. I like the pieces that you could put either in an actual haunted scene, or you could put them in like a realistic scene. I think those are cool. So that would be mine. Let's see here really quick here. Kelly Michael Brown says, anyone having issue with their Ghoulish Gourd pub, fine for a bit. Yeah, so you know what? You should check out, the pub is known to have some issues. You should check that out on Random Junk Channel. He's got some videos on that, actually. Derek, I think, knows a lot about the Ghoulish Gourd pub. Let's see who we have here. Marcus Geiger says, I wish I had the haunted library. The lighting and internal scene was great. I would argue on that library, that was one of the best internal scenes Lemax has ever done. That was the building, almost was the internal scene of the library. It was huge.
And I loved the broken glass look on that one. That was so well done on that one. On the hotel, it's a little cheesy. I do love the hotel, but it's a little cheesy, that portion of it. But the library, they did such a good job with that. That one that year,
I'm trying to think what else it came out with. My years are now running together. What all came out when?
But 2019, that one, 2019, it was the year the Tilton Hurl, the Garden of Eden, and the Graveyard Party.
That's right. That was a good year. That one had, or that building in particular, seemed to be a lot of people's just favorite. I guess you call it a sleeper that year, but it seemed to be everybody's favorite. Hey, Jan, I really like the bookstore too. Love ghost stories. Had to buy it. And didn't talk about the price. The price on if you get a coupon, it's pretty decent on that bookstore. Also, I think. I was gonna say all the sleeper ones had good pricing, but I guess the hotel. Yeah. That was the most expensive one.
I went a little rogue on the assignment.
Do you have the hotel, Kelly, or did?
Nope, I regret not getting it because I think the more I think about it, I think I could fit it in my display. I'm just gonna have to pick it up next year, hopefully.
Okay, I was wondering on it. Before we get into the next one here, which would be favorite accessory, Rocket Gamer 06 says, "Hey Doug, thanks to your great videos, I ended up getting the Mad Pumpkin Patch and Jack's Pumpkin Farm. Probably my two favorite pieces. Those let's see, they're awesome. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of people are commenting on the bookstore and the library. I think if you own the library, you probably bought the bookstore, assuming your Michael's had it.
Another thing I thought with the bookstore is a lot of people take the old Dickens Department 56 villages and kind of redo them. Mm-hmm. That will fit perfect in with those buildings. Same style building, but you can kind of haunt them all up and fit them in a nice, rehabbed village, and that would fit right in with them. The bookstore.
Yeah, that bookstore. We talked about it. Kind of fits the realistic style villages, but a lot of the Department 56 stuff is more realistic styled. If you've got a Department 56 layout, and I know a lot of people like to stick to one or the other. That Lemax building could kind of masquerade in your Department 56 one and not look out of place. I don't really care about the looking out of place. I think they can look good, both companies together. But if you're a real stickler for it, I think that would work for that one. So let's we'll mix it up here when we're going to get to the favorite accessories now. And so Ryan, let's start with you on this one. What was your favorite accessory for 2021?
I forgot what I told you. I don't have notes.
That's funny. I know. Well, this was my runner-up, and it's the pumpkin treehouse.
Right, the pumpkin treehouse. Oh, the one I have on display up here. Actually, have them sit next to me.
Yeah. So I've got all the notes here over. This
little guy here. One of these went out with almost every single order I shipped this year. That's how popular this piece was.
Yeah, this was your top seller, right?
It was my top seller. Obviously the Webbeteer was huge this year, as was the there's a bunch of big pieces this year, but the whiskey distillery was huge as well. A lot of people got one or the other, but literally one of these went out with almost every single order. And this is my personal one that I decided to help Lemax out with the training on, and I did the actual lighted pumpkins on myself, added to them, and got rid of the string that was on there originally. And I got rid of all the strings on it. So this one, keep on going off camera here. So the entire thing is lit, repainted. That's sick. And my style. And that will sit right at work with me all season long.
It's tough because of quantities. This isn't the normal year to where maybe the best piece sold the best, because with inventory, you don't know. I would guess that's probably the best selling piece of this year, because I know even like Menards all throughout the Midwest, Menards only had a couple new pieces this year, but that's actually where I got mine from, was Menards. And online, I know you were saying it was the best seller. Like, it looked like everybody had it this year that was posting. Like, I know a lot of people are building displays now, but for a lot of people that they were showing off the new stuff, it seems like almost everybody got one. And Kelly, we can segue to ours, because our favorite accessory is the same. That was my runner-up, and I think that this year is such a good year for accessories because there are two, in my opinion, all-timers. Mm-hmm. And I think that pumpkin treehouse is always going to sell as long as Lemax has it in production. I think that's going to be one of the hallmark pieces. I would say it's going to be like Hungry Treehouse when it's retired, but I would guess Lemax probably leaves that one in like for sale for a while. And I don't know what Hungry Treehouse originally retailed for. I would assume it was more expensive, though, at least in inflated dollars, because it was kind of a bigger, more in-depth lit piece.
And a lot more life to it, yeah. Yeah. So with that, Kelly, I know we share this one. What is our favorite accessory for 2021?
Our favorite accessory for 2021 is the Frankenstein water tower. And I think when we did that video, we both knew, like, this is our new favorite accessory before we even had seen it in person. But when you do get it in person, the quality is incredible. The detail on this piece. I actually really love that those little, they did kind of a different little plant on this one. I noticed it, being a plant person, so like I love plants. This has like that almost looks like yucca plants in there, which I thought, that's so cool. But that's just me being a plant person. But honestly, this piece, I actually replaced the pumpkin water tower.
Sacrilegious.
I know. I thought there's no way that a piece could top, or an accessory could top the pumpkin water tower, because it's been in production forever. It's so classic. It's so Halloween. But this one did it. It's like I said, the detail on this one, it's just incredible, and it looks so good in a pumpkin patch, and it looks like something that would be in a local pumpkin patch. Like they just went all out with their water tower. Yeah,
I mean, I'll just add a little bit to that, in that the quality, it's always like this for Department 56. It feels like on the really good Department 56 pieces, they're like, will stop you almost, and you're like, wow, okay, that is nice, because like the frame on that is like a metal frame. It's the chassis that they use for their water towers, but their water towers are nice. Like I remember whenever that Lemax water tower came out, like, listen, I love Spooky Town, but that was a pretty crappy water tower. I mean, that it was it was small, first off. I mean, it wasn't in scale. That almost looked like one of those like things you see in a backyard when people put like a little windmill, like except it was a water tower. So to me, I remember seeing it in the pictures at first. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's not the pumpkin water tower, but fine. But then you see it in the store, and it was so dinky. The Department 56 water towers are legit water towers. Like, they're big, and they actually look like properly to scale. And that the water towers are the one thing I'll die on that hill. That if people don't like Lemax in the Department, or I'm sorry, the other way around. If they don't like Department 56 and their Lemax displays, you should still get the water tower, one of them. Like, I don't care. Nobody's going to care. It's fine. It's a standout piece. And the funny part, I know a lot of people that is the only one, not the Frankenstein one, but the pumpkin water tower. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like they're like, oh, I don't do Department 56, except for the pumpkin water tower. I do have that one. So I think Frankie will be the next one like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have anything? Oh, Omega Red Pumpkin Treehouse is the best. Country Candle. Our Michael still has empty shelves for Spooky Town. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a crazy year. We kind of talked about it at the beginning of it. I guess, Landon, so let's go to yours. What is your accessory of the year?
Okay, so truthfully, my accessory of the year was also the pumpkin treehouse, but I knew it was already going to be talked about, so I disqualified it from my list. But my other favorite accessory of the year, sadly, I don't have it with me. It's the Gothic Well. And the reason for that one is it's so simple, but I think that's kind of what makes it so effective. It has a subtle pulsating green light that's inside of it. It's so spooky. It's so atmospheric. And kind of like the water towers from Department 56, to me, it's kind of a jack-of-all-trades accessory. It's something that you could use for anything, even more niche themes like the Wild West or the nautical. Like, you could easily slide this one in there. And what I'll use it for is a graveyard scene, but no, it's very simple, but it's very, very well done. And I think that's kind of what makes it so good, is its simplicity.
This was close to mine as my sleeper, or kind of the surprise of the year. This one did look awesome in person. It's pretty good size, too, I think. It looks big, I guess. It's not like out of scale, but it looks appropriately big. And that it's got great green lighting, and it like looks high quality, almost Department 56 style. It's got very nice paint, at least the one I saw, paint job, and it had a cool, like you're saying, that lighting on it. I think it's pretty slick. You could use it for a bunch of different things. Ryan, were you selling that piece this year?
Yeah, I sold it out. Gone. It was a great piece. It had some weight to it too, which is a lot of the nice pieces are coming out with. They are resin, but they're a very solid resin, so they have a nice feel to them.
I had, I'll call this out because I really thought this was interesting, and then we'll get into favorite buildings of the year. Was when I had Derek on from Random Junk Channel, I asked him straight up, because he's been inside of all these buildings for years. He knows the mechanics and just everything. And I just asked him, I go, all right, you always hear people say the quality isn't what it was. So what is your opinion on that? You know the mechanics of it. And he said that the plastic buildings are by far better quality because the ceramic ones just have glue holding all the mechanics inside, which is not, that temperature and other things can change. Whereas the plastic stuff, everything is actually, there are brackets and other things in it where it fits better and everything. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I'm trying to think here of all the favorite buildings we have this year. I think most are ceramic. Let's get into it, though. I guess let's just do it. So let's start with, let's see. I think, Landon, you haven't gone first yet. So, Landon, what was your building of 2021? And do you have it with you?
Yes, I have it with me.
Okay, then I won't pull it up again. All right.
Alrighty. So for my building of the year, I went all over the place. There was several contenders, and I ended up disqualifying several of them because, again, kind of like the Pumpkin Treehouse, I knew others were going to talk about them. But my building of the year is the Horrid Haunted Hotel. And the reason for that is, well, it's kind of like the Meow Mansion in that it was a really big surprise piece for me. I remembered a lot of people, this piece had a fair amount of buzz around it, when it first showed up on the website. But for whatever reason, I don't know, I didn't really care for it when I saw it. But when I actually got my hands on it, it looks fantastic. I love, and Jaden also brought this up, Jaden's videos when he did his review of it.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the building is very haunted house-ish. So I think that you could use this in a haunted neighborhood scene. And it's got fantastic animation, whether it be the hourglass or the key in the padlock, and a fantastic indoor scene with people walking up the stairs. I think that it, and along with the Black Raven Manor from last year, I think they have two of my favorite indoor scenes in modern Spooky Town. So, no, the Witching Hour was a close second, but due to the whole surprise factor, I'm going with the hotel as my favorite. I think it's awesome.
You could, I think, use that also in a carnival scene because it looks like almost like a haunted house, like a fun house kind of haunt, attraction, which is cool that you could actually do that. I remember we did our preview video, and that was fun doing that. And I think we did a separate Michael's video, and we talked about the hotel. But I remember that one did seem to not get. I don't really remember much about it when even talking about it. I remember talking about like the Isle of Jacks and the Meow Mansion and those buildings, but I don't really remember even talking about that much. So it's pretty interesting how that one, it's not like it came out of nowhere, but it kind of did. That one I know has some big supply issues around. I haven't been able to get it. Some people can't. I guess kind of all the buildings, but that one in particular, I guess, because a lot of people want it. They've seen videos on it. They've heard people talk about it, and they want it. So that is Landon's. That is the building of the year, the Horde Hotel. Let's go to Kelly. What would be your building of the year?
Okay, this will come as no surprise to anyone if you know how much I love jack-o'-lanterns. So my favorite piece of the year is the Isle of Creepy Jacks, and it wasn't even close. Like, this one just blew everybody else out of the water. This was the thing I love about this piece is, like, first off, that jack-o'-lantern. It's like some pieces are like, is this Halloween or is it, what is this? But this is like screams Halloween. We've got the big draw on this one is the fogging mechanism, which is like a huge improvement over the like what they were doing with the Isle of Doom. And I've run this piece for a little while, and I'm not having any problems with it. I think the fog is like just rolls out, and it looks so creepy and so eerie, and it's just we're moving here. The size, so like this is a piece that you would build a scene around because it is it's a pretty big piece. The thing I found the most interesting about it was the magnetized pieces. So I'm loving these magnetized pieces because every year I have a slight heart attack getting everything out of the boxes, and I'm snapping pieces off every time. So you have the glue that you just keep that on hand as a collector, and so these magnetized pieces, that's such a smart detail. And the only thing that I would knock this piece on, I haven't talked about the lighting. The lighting's incredible, but there's so many different colors, and the mix of colors, it just looks, it will stand out. I can't imagine, or I can't think of another piece that's like really like grabbed my attention the way this one has, with lighting as far as lighting goes. But the one knock I have against it is this, the animation on top is kind of odd. I mean, it's kind of odd, but because those pieces are magnetized, I'm thinking about doing some type of customization where you can add a different top to it if you wanted to change it. I'm thinking like a spinning jack-o'-lantern is what I'm kind of imagining, but this, it's dripping with Halloween theme. It's got the fog. It's, and no soundtrack. So I don't run pieces with the sound anyway. So like when people talk about soundtrack, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever listened to that one. It's in my collection.
I don't ever run sound either. Outside of when I'm doing like actual videos, I want to do the video part of them. But in real life, I don't really know any collectors that do. Like run, not on Lemax. Department 56 has some cool soundtracks because they're more atmospheric and just kind of like sound effects.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Isle of Creepy Jacks.
Yes,
you a million times.
7 times, yeah. Yeah, that was my runner-up piece, and it's crazy it was runner-up. Normally that would be my favorite piece, and I bet Ryan, it'll be interesting next year when that becomes a non-exclusive, especially because a lot of people could not get one this year. Yeah. I would imagine next year that one's going to sell awesome, and I hope they keep it in production for a while. That's one that if that gets retired, that price is going through the roof. Like I see that one eventually is going to be worth a ton. You know, not saying people should buy these things for investments. Don't do that. We don't need more of that. Like this year, I normally don't talk about the price stuff, but good Lord, this year
it's getting bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't engage much on the groups just because it's people selling stuff. I guess you get whatever they're worth, but man, it's just nuts how much some of these buildings are going. So I just see that one and I think, boy, if you're interested in the Isle of Creepy Jacks, buy it in the next year or two here, just in case Lemax does retire it for some reason. That one is going to for sure be a unicorn piece. It just, the lighting is spectacular on it. I love that. Scott C's asking a couple questions. You've got some great ones. I'm going to get to those in a minute here. He actually says, wondering if Lemax has a plan for replacing the wicks for both Creepy Isle and Skull Quarry because they will wear over time. I think, what's the policy right now? Just get a hold of them, Ryan. Do you know that?
They don't have them. I've asked for them to try, and I was going to throw extra packs in with the kits I sold, or the pieces I sold rather, and they don't have them. They don't have replacements. If you go online and look for like small vaporizer type units that you plug into the wall kind of thing, they take the same style wick. And, you know, the same as the, I think, Landon, you might have one of the chimney smoking ones from last year, or maybe not. Somebody did.
Yeah, I sold that one for the vulgar ones.
Yeah, they come in, a lot of the buildings come in different lengths depending on how the wick is in the building. Isle of Jacks and the Skull Cave Quarry is a very short one where the buildings are a little taller because the chimney's up higher. But these wicks that you get on Amazon, they're a good 6 inches long, and you just cut them to length and put them in there. And they're much cheaper.
I saw those, Ryan, on Amazon. And I think what I need to do, just for community service, I need to order a pack and just do a video. Hey, just use this, and you're good. Then you're fine. Run it all you want.
Yeah, I was going to try one with the Skull Cave Quarries, but I don't have any left, so I couldn't test it for you. But I know a couple people did try it, and they work well.
That's great. A bunch of comments actually here. Kat, hey Kat. Good to see you in here. Dead Mouse says hello to everybody. We have Halloween stuff. I have a Pennywise Department 56 from Amazon. Those look cool. I haven't seen one of those in person. Let's see what we have here. A lot of people are liking the Well, and I think Isle of Creepy Jacks was a lot of people's favorites. I mean, that's probably the consensus favorite, I think. Even the people that are frustrated with the shipping and stuff, when they finally get one and they open it up, are like, wow, that looks spectacular.
Yeah.
So Ryan, we'll go to you next year. What was your favorite building for 2021 personally?
It's funny. Mine was actually a disappointment at first until I plugged it in and lit it up. It's the Carnival of Carnage.
Great choice.
Yeah, I remember when we did our intro, we did them off the pictures, right? We didn't have pictures, We had no video or anything. We were just going through pictures and checking them out. And I thought for sure that clown up on top with a special lighting on him was going to be like a carnival barker, you know, yelling at people in the crowd.
Yeah.
And it has no sound at all. But when you take it out of the box and you plug it in and hit the lights on it, the lighting is probably the best that I've seen on any Lemax piece ever. And I know it's saying a lot, but it's really lit up well. It's got the red and blue, you know, small fairy lights all around it. It has, you know, lighting over each of the scenes. It has almost an entire carnival packed into one tower. Mm-hmm. And it is a good sized piece. It's tall, and it's again, it's resin, but it's so solid it feels ceramic almost. It's a very heavyweight piece. It's just a real solid looking piece. It can be used as a centerpiece for any carnival, even a ticket counter. Put it right next to the ticket counter kind of thing. It's amazing, all the detail on it.
The pictures on this one that people have had, I've seen people with them lit up. Again, this is one I couldn't get my hands on it this year. I wanted to. just sold out everywhere that I could get the stuff. And I know the lighting online, people got it. It did look crazy. Like it looked spectacularly lit, and it looks like that picture. It's funny looking at the picture. Even the video on the Lemax site doesn't do it justice from the pictures I've seen, like at all.
The worst quality problem with Lemax is their videos. They're all terrible. They have terrible lighting in the studio.
Hey, I'm thankful because
so much better in person.
That's like my niche. That's why I started this, was because I was like, well, what the hell, man? I remember thinking like, this doesn't look anything like, or it looks so much cooler than when you see it. And that's even, it's funny in Michael's stores too, because even Michael's doesn't, I mean, they can't. It's, you know, they can't, what are they going to do, turn the lights out? But still, you can't really see the pieces just lit up. It's just, it's amazing how these things come alive when they come under the lighting that, or lack of lighting that they're supposed to.
And that piece, it had a very good, I hope they do it with more buildings. It plugs in from the center or the bottom of it. So there's actually a cutout in the back of it. The plug goes in the bottom centered, and then it comes out the back. So you don't have a plug slapped on the back of it. So you actually display that thing 360, and you won't see any wires. You can bury the wires underneath any kind of matting.
Oh,
it's great. It's a great way to do it. Hope they follow that in a lot of the other accessories or smaller buildings.
It's good they would do that. I could see why on a tower like that they would do that, since in theory, because it's a smaller footprint, I think, right? It's just tall.
Yeah.
You could kind of put it wherever. So we'll get into mine here in a minute. A lot of people are talking about the Web of Terror. That this is a great comment. 1 second, Landon. Draculia. It's kind of good their videos are bad. Imagine the issues of pieces being sold out if their advertising was good. I know they try. But hey, like a lot of us on YouTube now that do this, that's where we come in. It's fun for me still because I don't know what these pieces are going to look like. When I see them lit up for the first time, it's like everybody, but I've got my camera and everything, and it makes me so excited, especially like early in the season. And I guess with that, let me just do mine, and then we'll kind of just do some general stuff here and some questions. But it was tough this year with my building of the year. It was between Isle of Creepy Jacks and this other one, but I'll explain why I went with this one. It's a Skull Cave Quarry is my piece of the year. And this is another one that, man, like I look at this picture here, and it looks cool there, but it does not, like when it's lit up, it looks scary. And I guess that's the difference between this and Isle of Jacks. Mm-hmm. It's tough to say which I really like better because I like pumpkins and everything. And Isle of Jacks is more of the showpiece, I guess. But this one is more atmospheric, I think. And I like how there's no animation. It just looks scary. And I like the Lemax Spooky Town pieces when they take it to that scary place. Like there's all those bones inside the cave. It's very macabre, a very macabre piece. Mm-hmm. And when that fog, I've got video of it on my channel, that when that fog is rolling out, it's awesome. And that's one to where I think Skull Cave Quarry, because it wasn't in Michael's, I don't know how many people really got it. I haven't seen a lot of hype for it this year. So did you sell many of those, Ryan?
I didn't. The ones I had, I sold out because they started, people start posting them online, and now they have to have it, because they see it in person running. So I didn't sell many of them until they were actually hitting people's displays.
I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen that one in person, it's just a different. Well, Ryan, have you seen Jax in person? Have you seen the Isle?
I have not.
Okay,
no.
I was going to ask what you thought was the best. I mean, I've got them both, so it's tough. The lighting is more of the showpiece and the animation and everything with Jax, but Skull Cave Quarry is just a creepy building. I think you could use that one with like the pirate scene. You could use it with the almost kind of work for the Old West. You could get in there with the Old West vibes. A carnival, of course, it's almost like a dark ride. But I love it. I think that if you're watching this one, even if you have Jax, get another one. Have 2 islands, 2 foggers. Great. I mean, come on down.
The good side of town, the bad side of town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just think that one, I think that one will be a sleeper one in the future just because it came out it was like when two great records came out at the same time by two awesome bands, and one of them is like the lesser known one that's just as good, but the other one had the more, the bigger following. It was more marketed. I'm telling you guys, Skull Cave Quarry out there, if you haven't seen that one in person, it's every bit as good as Jack's. It's just different, and it's big too. I mean, they're both big, but it's heavy ceramic. I love that piece, so I'm huge on it.
It's about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
It's a monster. Yeah. It's a monster piece, and I remember when I pulled it out of the box for the first time, it was just like wow, and So I love them both, but if I had to choose, which I do for this one, it's Skull Cave Quarry. That's my piece of the year. Interesting note, Department 56. Sorry, Landon, what were you going to say, buddy?
I was going to chime in real quick. Truthfully, the Isle of Jacks and the Skull Corp were also my two favorite buildings of the year. But I disqualified them because I knew that y'all were going to talk about them. And I feel it's easy. I feel it's easy for me to put a fogging piece as my favorite just because it fogs. Like, how can you not love that? I'm actually going to be a little contrarian. I prefer the Isle of Jacks a little bit more because the fogger on mine is a little bit better. It puts out a little bit more, I think. And I like the animation on it because that, with the fog and the animation, reminds me of the Isle of Doom, which is one of my favorite buildings of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
a few people have said the Web of Terror. So the Web of Terror wasn't on here, but like I think we all love that piece. It's
it's so good. It actually has the Ferris wheel lighting that I wish
it has real Ferris wheel lighting.
Yeah,
cascading.
Yeah, it looks so good lit up, and any carnival or any theme park theme set up, it's gonna look great in there. And even if you have the Wheel of Horror, I think you could have Wheel of Horror. Is that right?
Yeah, the Wheel of Horror.
Okay. Just drawing a blank there. I think you could have them both and have dueling Ferris wheels. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah. So Ryan, you said that one sold really well, right? The Web of Terror.
It did. I do have one left, and I think it's going to be in my collection. Actually, it's not going anywhere.
I think that's
yeah. And I don't even have a carnival section, so it's just a really cool piece. And it's funny because you kind of picked on it for not being. It had a spider on the front. It had apples for cars and skeletons in it. But you know what? Who cares? You look at it; it's just awesome. It's an awesome piece.
Yeah, I agree. And that the lighting is so good on that one. Again, we're talking about that cascading effect that I see that at a lot of carnival Ferris wheels that will have that, and there's always like a showpiece thing. Downtown Brown says Skull Cave Quarry reminds me of the Goonies. Yeah, I didn't say that, and I should have. It's a very Goonies-esque piece.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So that's like our favorites. What, Landon?
Because there's something about the Wheel of Horror, like the Isle of Jacks. Get that one while you can, because that one's going to go for a lot of money once it's retired.
Oh yeah, Web of Terror. Yeah, and that when we were saying it in our preview video, I'm surprised it took Lemax this long to do a Ferris wheel, just because that's outside of a roller coaster, which will never happen. I don't think there's no way. I just don't see how a roller coaster could happen. One thing I do want to do on this channel, though, is they have that Cyclone roller coaster kit. I forget. There's a couple companies that do offer miniature roller coasters. I do plan to buy one, build one, and spookify it. So that's our favorite. We have about 15 minutes left here, and we do have some questions in. So Scott had some good ones here. Real quick, though, Bruce D says, is there any way to know which pieces Lemax and Department 56 are going to retire each year before they retire them? I missed getting Ghostly Manor last year, and some are selling for $300 this year. Ryan, I mean, Department 56 announces them, but
yeah, Department 56 announces them ahead of time, and they actually put them on sale when they retire them, which is odd. Now, Lemax, your friendly local dealer, will be able to tell you which ones are going to be retiring, because what they do is they start selling the stock off as limited quantity. So when I get my pricing list in February, it'll have the limited quantity items that will be retiring. And at that point, until the stock is gone, that's it. There's no more coming back. And a lot of times you'll get them in only styrofoam with no cardboard box towards the end. They'll be kind of dirty styrofoam boxes, but well worth it. Well worth it. Because that piece is gone and you'll never see it again.
You know what? Next year, let's do that, Ryan. Whenever your stuff comes in, let's do something like that. I know that this year people have asked me to do a Department 56 retiring show and just announce to people, because I follow it. I know a lot of you guys follow it, but a lot of public people don't really follow that stuff, so they don't really know what's retired or not. Really interesting to see what Lemax will do. Like I don't think a lot of times people realize how many pieces Lemax actually does produce. They produce a lot.
There's thousands of them. I think it's 1,600 lines on the order form right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. In Department 56, at least Halloween-wise, is much less what they produce. They retire stuff a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. So there was a really good one Scott asked here. Where was it? Scott says, here's a good question. This is Scott C. Which 2021 Spooky Town would be the biggest? Basically, he's asking the biggest disappointment, whether that's light, no sound, whatever. What would be your big disappointment piece? We can just run around with it real quick here. Ryan, do you have one like off top of head?
Yeah, I don't want to upset anybody that did buy this one, but the Apparition Academy, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it looked. The lighting wasn't great on it. It's a bulb-lit building. It didn't have enough of it popping through. And the ghosts were just kind of a little cheesy looking. It's funny, a lot of the ghosts, they use a certain white paint on them that looks dirty when it's brand new. So it's just kind of it's a weird piece for me. A lot of people loved it, but it just wasn't my thing.
I'll jump in real fast. Do what, Landon?
I said I like that piece. So
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
That's why they got 1,600 items.
We'll go. We'll go Landon and then Kelly. Mine would be the Zombie Records because it was just odd that it's a cool piece. I like the jukebox. It's just odd there was no soundtrack on it. Not that I play with sound necessarily, but it just seems odd that piece didn't have a soundtrack. And I know a lot of people complained about that, or were giving feedback about it, like, what the heck. And so that would be mine. I don't really have a huge one this year. Now, my disappointment is the Department 56 lineup in general this year. There's no disappointment. People that I've said on the live, somebody asked me, I actually do like Department 56 probably better when they're doing their good stuff. Like my favorite pieces are probably heavily skewed towards Department 56, but they've really been lacking these last couple of years, I think, across the line, like total. Frankie's was awesome, but I actually don't even remember off the top of my head what came out this year. So
they had a lot of accessories, not a lot of buildings.
Yeah,
a lot of licensed stuff, a lot of licensed pieces.
Yeah. So
like Peanuts, they had Peanuts house. That's right.
Big uproar over the Peanuts house. Yes.
Yes. So, Landon, what would be your disappointment of the year?
So, disappointment. It's funny that I say this because this was my runner-up piece for the year, and I think it's fantastic. Like, regardless, it's just kind of like a one extra thing that would have made it like even better.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Witching Hour. There's like, and again, that's a fantastic piece. Otherwise, it's got great lighting. I think that's a piece that really shows what the resin is capable of. Like it looks great. I love how it's built up to like a big stone on anything. Or no, it's built onto a big stone, sorry. But the only thing that would have made it cooler, in my opinion, is if the clock actually worked. I think that the clock is just animated on it, so it doesn't actually function like a real clock. And I know that Lemax, their Christmas buildings, like I got the forest clock that has like the real working clock on it. So they're doing that on a few pieces. So hopefully next year they'll have a building with a real working clock that you could tell the time on it. But no, like that's the only thing. It's kind of like how you felt about the Yellow Jacks with the animation. That's the only thing taken away from an otherwise fantastic building.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. There's a couple of comments here. I'll read them in a minute, but Kelly, do you have a piece?
Well, for Department 56, it was the Trick or Treat house. So I collect that every year. That's like my whole thing. And I didn't get this one because if you take away the Peanuts pieces, and it is a cool idea. I do like the cutout idea, like it's like they made of plywood or something. I do like that idea, but if you take those away, because I'm just not a Peanuts person, not a Charlie Brown person. The house is really plain, and it was really expensive because it was licensed. I mean, it was even more expensive. So that was my one gripe of the building, I would say, is a disappointment. And then for Lemax, it was just a missed opportunity. We didn't get a Trick or Treat house this year. And I know we have several other bulb lit pieces, and you can't have, they only get so many of those every year. So that was like, I was hoping we'd get one this year.
If I was, I guess, going to stick with the Department 56 one, that'd probably be mine, just because I do look forward to seeing it every year, the Trick or Treat House. And boy, if you didn't buy it in your village, that's
it just wasn't. Just didn't.
I see. Hey, Derek from Random Junk Channels tuned in here. What's up, Derek? I like what he says here, because it's about Isle of Jacks. The aesthetic issue with the Isle of Creepy Jacks is the top of the column with the rotating characters is a plain gray plastic with no attempt to blend it in with the theme.
Yeah.
I would agree with that very much. It's like a flat top, just a gray flat top. Had they have done something mountainous, I think it would have looked a lot better. I totally agree with that.
But when I'm running it in the dark, you don't see the animation that well.
That's true too.
So that
lights it
helps
up.
it. Yeah.
And they're magnetized, so you can take them off if you don't want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but what he's saying, that was actually, because I even thought, well, okay, if I don't want that, just take it off. When it's dark, it's kind of hidden, but it's just like a flat top over there. You know what though? I'm actually started to make display stuff. You can just put a rock or something, make a carved rock or something over there.
Yeah,
Then
I guess
it would rotate. Then you'd have a rotating rock on your display. Let's see. I like this name, the Work Comp Guy. How's it going, Work Comp Guy? Are there any gimmicks you wish Lemax would do or do more of? For example, more pieces incorporating fog or figures that pop out. The fog is pretty cool, I think, but they might want to chill on it for a minute.
Two things I would do with that if I was Lemax. Two things that were missing: a pirate theme to go with the fogger, and have the cannon smoking.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Landon always says this: that they should have a trick or treat house with a chimney that smokes.
Yeah,
they could do that, or a haunted house. But I mean,
the
fogging in general. I like the smoking. Maybe the fogging, they could chill a little bit on it, or at least do different things like you're saying. I like that. They should bring.
It's the same mechanism in all of them. All the chimneys and the foggers are the same mechanism now.
Yeah, so it's really
just swap from one to the other.
It's the aesthetics of it. I wish they would do more different themes, though, again, like they did in the mid-2000s, like the pirates and different stuff. I think there's room for that. And I'll keep saying it, like most people think they should do something for the Wasteland Pub, that Fallout Wasteland kind of theme. I'm shocked they have not followed that up. I thought that was going to be the new little subgenre of Spooky Town. Every year they did that. David Hand. Do what, Landon?
I was gonna pop in like real quick. Yeah. So he was talking about like figures that pop out of like crypts or doors or something. Mm-hmm. I would really like to see that come back, because a lot of the classic buildings have those, and that's my favorite animation feature on any piece. One of the reasons why the Rest in Pieces Mausoleum is one of my favorites of all time is because that building is full of like characters popping out of doors, crypts, doors opening. So no, yes, I would love to see that.
Yeah. The one thing with that I do know is it does bust them. Like those, if you think about all those plastic pieces that have that, those are the pieces that are broken, a lot of those, because the friction of the door rubbing against the plastic gears, it's normally tricky. Chase Taylor and Marcus said this. I was going to get to this. They want to know, Kelly, I'll let you take this one. What are your thoughts on the Halloween countdown pieces? Gateway Halloween countdown. Should Lemax make more? I think those are the ones with the little pumpkins, right, that you like put.
I think they should make one every year, honestly, because I have one and I use it as it's the one with like the 3 little ghosts, and it looks like a yard decoration that someone has set up. And so I think if they do different things, different themes every year, I think that would be so cool. Something for everyone, because they've been kind of like that. I think we've had a couple of gates, or we've had, I'm trying to picture them, but they've all been kind of similar, if I'm remembering right. But yes, we've had 2 gates, right? 2 countdown gates.
Gates and scarecrows usually.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a tractor one a couple years ago?
Yeah, there was a tractor one. I did really like that one.
I like that one too. I love tractor anything.
Yeah, but I think if they did them in different themes, and then everyone could have one for their village, I think it's a really kind of a cool little element to the village.
It's a good idea. I've got a witch one. I forget which pun there. I forget the type. I don't collect those ones normally.
Mhm.
I do have a witch one from years ago, and I don't remember what year or anything with that. David says, I wish Lemax would come out with a corn maze piece. Yeah, that's if I ever enter that you name it, we build it thing, that's what it's going to be. It's an animated corn maze. I've got a cool idea for it, but I wish they would do that for sure. Hey, Philly Candleman Brett, what's up? Andrew's videos. Hey, what's up, man? A lot of people joining in now all of a sudden. Robert Massicott. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's been a long Friday. He says, why not a burning haunted house? Sure.
That would be so cool.
Make the inside like a realistic flickering effect. Make it look like it's on fire.
Yeah, just get the little fans with that fabric inside with the red lighting.
Yeah. Bruce, it's like rapid fire here at the end of this. Bruce goes along with something somebody else said. I'm worried about the fogging pieces like Isle of Jacks will cause water to damage to furniture that's sitting on other village pieces around it. Is it an issue? And I know that somebody said something related to it. Hang on here. Yes, Halloween said they didn't like Isle of Creepy Jacks because the mist soaked their village. So I haven't had that happen. I haven't displayed either of them yet. I don't have my display built. But do you know of that? Like either of you guys? Is that an issue?
Yeah, it's kind of an issue with mine. It's not as bad though as when it was when I had my Isle of Doom. Like whenever I ran that piece for just like a couple minutes, like everything was soaked whenever I used it. These two, it's not as bad because the mist is a little bit thinner than it was on the Isle of Doom. But no, it still got my counter wet, and I think that's kind of why when they were doing the new chimney smoke stuff, I thought that's what they were going to do more of instead of like actual fogging pieces, because when it's the chimney smoke, like that doesn't go on the ground, like it just goes straight up into the air.
It's like a smokestack; it shoots up.
Yeah,
interesting. I guess I haven't displayed foggers yet, so I'll know soon. I should know soon here because I think that the skull is going to get the nod this year, Skull Cave. But that's an interesting question there. We got just a couple minutes here. Did anybody have anything, I guess, anything they were wanting to say, just that we haven't really covered? It's been a quick hour that we've gone here.
I just want to bring up one more really good piece, the Whiskey Distillery. That was another one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, really good one too. I guess, yeah, that's a good wrap-up thing. We talked in in February. It's funny, in the dead of winter when we talk about these preview things, even though it was tricky and like everybody couldn't get all the pieces they want because of the inventory nonsense. This year, I personally thought was really good. The pieces looked like they were going to be cool, and the pieces actually were cool. And some of them were surprises, and they were even cooler in person. So, I mean, for me, I thought it was a good year. If you can get over, as long as you got the pieces you wanted, it was probably a good year. That's my thought on it. I mean, what do you guys generally think of the year, I suppose?
I guess I'll start here first. I'd say that for me, at least, this was the best Lemax year that I've had ever since I've been back into collecting when I started a couple years ago. To me, it's the closest that we've gotten to a year that's reminiscent of like the golden age from like 2004 to 2008. It's like 6-7 big highlight pieces. Like that's a lot. Normally we only get like 2 or 3 each year. So no, I thought it was good.
Good. I mean, Ryan, what were you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best in the preview video that we did in the beginning of all this. If you're starting to collecting this year, don't expect this next year. This was a wild year. There's a lot of stuff coming out that we're not used to seeing. This much inventory coming out at one point. I shouldn't say inventory. The inventory didn't quite make it out the way it was supposed to, but the list of items that were supposed to be coming out, the new releases were amazing this year. So this is going to be probably a banner year for them. One to mark down the history books for pieces.
Yeah, and I don't think we talked about it on the preview. I think we might have been talking off camera about it, but it seemed like with COVID, perhaps a lot of this stuff was supposed to be last year, but because of production stuff, it got shifted this year. Especially these 2 big fogging pieces. To me, I think one of them probably was supposed to be last year as a big Michaels piece or something. I don't know. I have no inside info, but it just seems like there were just so many non-exclusive pieces that were released this year that were really good. Normally they save a lot of those for the Michaels pieces, and it was just pretty wild. Chase Taylor gives big thanks to you there, Ryan. Looks like you saved them.
One of my best customers right there.
There we go. Kelly, I don't want to leave you out here. Was there anything to add, do you think, to that?
I'm just thinking 10 years in the future, and then the people stumbling across this year's pieces. There's just going to be so many that are so loved, and they're going to be like, man, I wish I was collecting 10 years ago so I could have got this new. I just think there's so many that fit that bill this year. It's been a great year. Like, it's really like rekindled a lot of people and interest in Spooky Town. And,
I think so too. And I feel bad for the new people also, because as he says that Ryan is saying, it's not like this always. It's also not like this inventory always. Normally there's a method to this. You can go into your Michaels, you get the coupons early. By now it's all sold out, but we all get our stuff in July. And Department 56 stuff normally is like June and stuff. It comes out like it's cool. Normally there's not all this madness and people angry, and well, there's people angry, I guess, in recent years. It seems like there's more of that in the hobby lately, but it's not. You're not gonna have to worry. Like, if you see a piece at like the Michaels site, you're not gonna be like, oh, I'm never gonna get that. Like, it's never gonna come out. So if you are a newbie, it's not like that. There's normally not as many pieces, but there's also not all the inventory stuff on it. So, we've been just over an hour here. I want to thank you guys for doing this. This was a lot of fun. This was the nice thing. It's crazy that we'll all be back together soon. I hope so, doing another preview video. Hopefully you guys are on too. I'd like to do some fun theme videos where we talk about certain stuff and themes. But I'd love to have you guys on though for the the preview for when we do Department 56 and Lemax, which is nuts that Halloween passes and then it's like they're here almost.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, Spooky Town.
Ryan, before we go, this is because Ryan, do you know with the Christmas stuff this year?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, time frame wise, the Spooky Town trickles out, and it's like October. This Christmas stuff you see in like Michaels. Do you know if that's all changed this year too? All the Christmas inventory, is that all crazy?
So the funny thing was, and my rep told me that I wasn't going to be getting a lot of stuff. I was going to be getting a lot of stuff without boxes, without the cardboard boxes, and they would come later. Oddly enough, almost everything from the Spooky Town line came with cardboard boxes. The Christmas stuff was missing all the boxes, which I thought was kind of odd. So I'm not sure if there's going to be some delays because of that. I mean, obviously the boxes are shipping now, but I have a very small inventory to keep up with. Some of these stores like Michaels are going to have a huge inventory to have to box this stuff up. I doubt they'll be doing that as fast as I could here. So there may be a slight delay, but they'll be out there. And there are some really nice Christmas pieces this year as well. It's not just Spooky Town's awesome this year. Christmas is awesome as well.
There's some cool pieces. I'm going to be doing them on this channel, and hopefully we can do a little bit maybe of a recap of that for those. I know, Ryan, you'll have had your hands on them. I don't have the budget to go hog wild in Christmas, but I do plan to do some stuff this year. So hopefully we can do maybe a little bit of a recap on that too, or fun holiday video. So, a good idea too would be, what are some of the cool Christmas pieces over the years that us, the hardcore Spooky Town people, don't know? I think that'd be fun to do that too if you're wanting to get into it. So with that, guys, I want to thank everybody who joined us. And let's start with Ryan to plug himself. We'll go around to say the goodbyes. Ryan, plug yourself, Haunters Nation.
Yeah, Haunters Nation. I do Lemax and Apartment 56. You can find me all over Facebook. I'm in all the groups. Everybody knows me by now. So just hit me up on Facebook, and I'll be happy to work with anybody out there.
His link will be in the description here whenever this posts to YouTube. I'll have it on there. Give me a day. Kelly, anything you wanted to plug?
Oh, nothing to plug. Just wanted to say thanks for watching. This was really fun.
That's nice. Landon, anything to plug from your creepy dorm room? I like the lights off and the.
Oh, thank you. Check out my YouTube channel, Halloween Villages. I have a couple more of the new 2021 Michaels exclusives. And then going into October, I'm going to be talking about several retired pieces from both Lemax and Department 56. So it's going to be a good season. And I look forward to being on this podcast again to do the previews for next year.
Great. We'll be back with some more Village Lives, guys. I don't know what we're going to – or Village Idiot Lives. I don't know what themes or whatever, but we'll do some more before the season's over here. And I've been doing a bunch of lives recently. I've got a bunch of building reviews that are going to be coming out. I have like a lot that are stacked up behind me. I've got to start knocking them out. So all through October and Halloween, there's going to be review pieces and everything. And then we'll shift over to Christmas and holidays once we get past Halloween. So I want to thank everybody for watching. There's been a lot of people on stream. Thank everybody for the support. I want to thank Ryan. I want to thank Landon and Kelly for joining. This was a lot of fun, and we will see you soon.